Welcome everyone to Grumpy's Coffee Talk Show on Rumble.com.
The clock strikes 8, the morning light is dim, another day begins, the choice is looking grim. But don't despair, don't you start to pout, there's one place on the dial where they sort it all out. The theme song hums, the kettle's on the boil. It's time to trade the silence for a little morning toil. Sip that strong black cup and find a comfy chair, 'cause Grumpy's Coffee Talk Show is back on the air. Oh, we're sipping strong coffee and the mood is terse, talking about the daily affairs of this whole universe. From the headline screaming to the whispering wind, there's no topic too twisted, no thread left unspun. We'll open up the Bible for a little golden truth, then pivot to the shadows of our conspiratorial youth. It's Grumpy's Coffee Talk, where the facts might get blurred, but you'll always leave informed, or at least kind of stirred.
Yeah, kind of stirred, but you know, sometimes. I need to quit touching things or I'll mess us up. No, but sometimes you might leave a little disturbed instead of stirred. You just never know. But we want to just say welcome. You're here, Grumpy's Coffee Talk Show. And that sipping strong coffee, well, that's provided by Honeybee Cigars. That's who provides the strong black coffee. They sponsored the podcast. I also want to say hello to my ride or die co-hosts of the Cigar Loons podcast, Gaz and Matthew. Good morning. You can catch us. You can catch us live every Tuesday night on Instagram, Rumble, and YouTube at 7 p.m. on the Eastern Coast, at 6 in the Central part, and 4 out there on the West Coast. And if you're fortunate enough to be over there in the UK, well, it's midnight for you guys. So, there you go. Got to be a night owl to catch us in the UK, but hey, we're worth it. What can I say? What are we talking about today that may or may not stir you or disturb you? Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that, you know, there's a lot of alien talk been getting thrown around, and everybody, when you start talking about the aliens, you know, and things of that nature, everybody, first thing they do, they start looking up. And I mean, 71% of our planet is covered by water. We've mapped the surface of Mars and the moon, they say, with more precision than we have our own ocean floor. Yeah. Is that not sad? For decades, we've looked at the stars asking, are we here alone? But recently, a different question has been gaining some traction in both fringe communities and in the halls of Congress. What if we aren't looking high enough? What if we shouldn't be looking up at all? What if we should be looking to the depths? Yeah. See, nobody's thinking about that. Nobody's talking about that. But so this is Grumpy. I am your host here at Grumpy's Coffee Talk Show. We like sipping strong black coffee, but we mainly come in here so we can spill some tea. And today we're going to try to spill a little bit of tea on some of these things that we'll just call them the Abyss Files, just for sake of having to call them something. But we're going to see if we can spill a little tea on some things. Don't know. Maybe can, maybe can't. But we're going to try to keep a neutral look at it. But like I said, maybe we've been looking in the wrong direction all along. Just saying. We're going to dive into the controversial and enigmatic world of underwater alien bases. From the Sycamore Knoll off the coast of Malibu to recent testimonies from U.S. lawmakers about high-speed submersibles. We're going to look at the evidence, the sightings, scientific skepticism. We're not here to tell you what to believe. We're just here to lay out the map of what we already know, what's already out there, and what we don't know. Now then, let's just kind of take a peek. The rise of the USO. What's the USO? I ain't got a clue. Most of us are familiar with UFOs, unidentified flying objects. But in the world of maritime intelligence and ufology, or ufology, I don't know. Yeah, there's a cousin to that term. It's the USO, or the unidentified submerged object. First I've ever heard that used, but anyway, we'll go with that. No, these aren't just flying saucers that happen to crash into the sea and then go buzzing around in the water. No, that's not what these are. Now, witnesses, which more often than not have actually been naval personnel, they describe objects that move seamlessly between air and water. This is what's known as transmedium travel. Imagine a craft traveling at 300 knots underwater without a cavitation trail, and then shooting out of the waves and hitting Mach 2 speeds flying through the air. Yeah, buddy. What would you think if you were at the right place at the right time, and you could actually catch something like that? Now, why does this lead to base theories, you ask? Well, that's a matter of logistics. If these objects are seen repeatedly in specific hotspots, like the Santa Catalina Channel in California, or the tongue of the ocean in the Bahamas, it raises the question. Are they just passing through? Are they going home? You know, uh, they like to cruise those neighborhoods. I don't know. Is that where maybe they fuel? Is that where they maybe fuel up, get their gas? Maybe is that where their burger joints at? I mean, you can ask all kinds of you can ask all kinds of questions. It's that easy. Now in 2024 and 2025, several whistleblowers and researchers, including investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, highlighted reports of underwater UFO highways. One of the most cited locations is the Atlantic Undersea Test and Evaluation Center in the Bahamas. Imagine that. While the Navy uses it for sonar testing, locals and former contractors have whispered for years about objects disappearing into the 6,000 foot deep trenches that are nearby there. 6,000 foot deep trench. That's a pretty deep trench, folks. I don't know about you, but that's a deep trench. Oh, now, okay, you just wake up or something. If you want to talk about specific structures, you got to speak about Sycamore Knoll and the Malibu base. This is located 6.6 miles off of the coast of Malibu, California. This underwater formation became a viral sensation on sonar and satellite mapping. It looks like a massive flat-top plateau supported by what some claim are pillars sitting 2,000 feet below the surface. Now, skeptics and geologists are very quick to point out that the ocean floor is full of strange natural formations, tectonic shifts, and volcanic activity create jagged walls and entrances all the time. But the mystery intensified in 2025 when users noticed that certain high-resolution renderings of the knoll seem to have changed or been obscured on major mapping platforms. Now, when you add to this the testimony of Representative Tim Burchett, there's my boy, in recent briefings, Burchett has claimed that high-level military officials have told him about underwater craft the size of football fields moving at speeds that defy our current understanding of fluid dynamics. If a craft that size is operating regularly in a specific area, it's not a leap for the theorists to suggest a hangar or a hub exists beneath the silt somewhere. So, that's my boy Tim Burchett, my former representative when I lived in East Tennessee. Yeah. If I moved back up there, he'd be my rep again. But I stand behind him, and people can say what they want to say, but I'm on board with Burchett, man. Yeah, call me what you will, but there's something to it. Now we gotta keep ourselves grounded. Don't get me wrong. But for every alien base, there's often a much more terrestrial, though perhaps equally fascinating explanation. Of course there is. There always is. See, the ocean is a noisy, messy place. Bioluminescence can make the water glow, looking like a submerged city from a distance. Methane hydrates escaping the seafloor can create massive bubbles that interfere with sonar. And then there's the human element, the U.S. Navy and other global powers that are constantly testing classified blue room technology, unmanned underwater vehicles that are designed to be stealthy and fast. See what I mean, folks? It doesn't matter. You've got one side that says these things are real, and then you've got the other side that's like, this is in your head. You're seeing oil slicks and reflectance and that look like whole cities, and they're asking you to view this the same way as people ask you to view yourself on a ball that's spinning and spinning and hurling through space and stuff. It's the same. Asking you to do the same thing here to me as far as that goes. But now, however, even the most hardened skeptics will admit that we've only explored about 5% of the ocean floor. And we're essentially blind to what happens down there. I mean, we don't have a finger on that pulse. We can tell you more about what's going on, in what they want to call outer space, but, up there in the sky, we can tell you more about that and be more calculated with what we say about that than we can what's under the oceans. And that's just our own fault. It's our own fault. We've trained ourselves to look up for all this stuff, not look down. I mean, who else can we blame? So, looking at these things, where does that leave us? I mean, we've got credible naval witnesses describing objects that don't match our physics. Oh, we've got strange geological formations like Sycamore Knoll that look eerily symmetrical. We have a growing movement in the government that's demanding to see the data that's hidden in the vault, so to speak. Oh, begs the question. Are there alien bases in the depths of our seas? Are they really down there? Well, as of yet, the 15th of February 2026, or well, actually, it'll be, when this releases, excuse me, fire me. But anyway, upon release of this podcast, we don't have an obvious smoking gun that proves these alien bases are alien bases under the sea. We don't have the smoking gun yet. No high def videos of a hangar door opening, none of that. But the frequency of these sightings suggests that something is using our oceans as a sanctuary. Now, whether it's a foreign adversary's advanced technology, a natural phenomenon, don't know, don't understand. Or is it truly something totally other? It's an unanswered question. Nobody has a clue. So, let me leave you with this one. Next time you're at the beach, looking out there at that horizon, remember the most interesting part might not be the sunset. It might be what's happening a mile straight down. Yeah, figure that one out. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of me rambling and talking to you about things that other folks might not want to talk about. Just trying to keep it real, folks. Instead of looking up, try looking down. See what you find. Look at it through your own eyes. Don't look at it through what somebody else has told you. That's my only thing. Follow me, subscribe, share it. We talk about a lot of subjects that a lot of folks don't want us to question. I'm not sure what the next one's going to be, but it'll be something. Like I said, it'll either
I'm
stir.
shocked.
Yeah, I know, you would be shocked. it'll either stir you or disturb you. One of the two. There you go. I'm not going to pull one out of him. But anyway, this has been me. Yeah. Here for you. Bringing you the strange and unusual. But now, I just want to say that I love every one of you. Abba Father loves you too. If you don't know him, today's a good day to get to know him. He's not driving your bus here in 2026. consider pulling over, exchange seats with him, let him take control. You might be looking at some potholes. He might help you miss them. It's so grown. You'll catch me again later this week. Love every one of you. Bye.
Thank you for watching and make sure to follow.
So if you're feeling puzzled, if the world feels like a game, tune in to Grumpy's talk show and never be the same. The coffee's running out now, the show is at its end, but come back tomorrow morning, my skeptical friend. Yeah, Grumpy's Coffee Talk Show, that's the word.